The courtroom buzzed with quiet murmurs as 28-year-old Maya Caldwell sat at the defendant's table, her expression calm despite the storm raging around her. The prosecution was wrapping up their case, confident in their airtight evidence against her. The arresting officers, Detectives Rick Dunham and Kyle Sloan, sat in the front row smirking. This was just another routine conviction for them. If you think this story was wild, just wait, because 1,000 more untold stories are coming. Power, betrayal, and justice. This is just the beginning. Subscribe to Dark Side of Luna now and never miss a single twist. Maya had been arrested 3 weeks prior during a routine traffic stop in New Orleans. The officers claimed they found a suspicious package in her glove compartment, drugs, supposedly. But Maya knew the truth. She had never seen that package before in her life. Her court-appointed lawyer, a tired man named Daniel, leaned over to whisper, "Maya, I need you to consider taking the plea deal. You're facing 15 years if this goes the wrong way." Maya shook her head. "No, I'm not taking any deal." Daniel sighed, defeated. Meanwhile, the prosecutor stood confidently, delivering his final words. "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the evidence is undeniable. The defendant was caught with illegal substances in her possession. The officers involved are decorated men of the law. This case is open and shut." Detectives Dunham and Sloan exchanged victorious glances. Another win, another conviction, another innocent life destroyed. The judge looked toward Maya. "Miss Caldwell, this is your last opportunity to speak before we move to a verdict." Maya stood up slowly, smoothing out her navy blue blazer. The entire room watched, expecting a desperate plea or a nervous denial. Instead, she took a deep breath, lifted her chin, and spoke with a voice so steady it sent chills down the spine of every person in the courtroom. "With all due respect, Your Honor, this trial has been nothing but a spectacle. But before we conclude, I think it's time we discuss the real crime here." A few whispers rippled through the audience. The judge narrowed his eyes. "Miss Caldwell, this is not the time for—" She held up a hand, her presence commanding attention. "I would like to submit new evidence." The prosecutor scoffed. "New evidence? What evidence?" Maya reached into the small leather purse beside her, pulled out an ID, and calmly placed it on the table where everyone could see. Silence. Detectives Dunham and Sloan leaned forward to get a better look. Then their faces drained of color. The ID read, "Maya Caldwell, Director of the FBI." Gasps erupted in the courtroom. The judge's gavel slammed down repeatedly. "Order. Order in the court." The prosecutor's jaw hung open. The jury members exchanged wide-eyed glances. The smirking detectives were no longer smirking. Maya took her time as she spoke. "For months, we've been investigating corruption within the New Orleans Police Department. Several reports of evidence tampering, false arrests, and coerced confessions. My team and I suspected officers were targeting specific individuals to boost their conviction rates, but we needed proof." She turned, locking eyes with Dunham and Sloan. "So I went undercover." Sloan shot up from his seat. "She's lying. This is ridiculous." Maya simply raised an eyebrow. "Am I?" She pulled out a small black device and pressed a button. The speakers in the courtroom crackled to life. A recorded conversation played. Dunham's voice. "Just plant the stuff, man. It's just another case. Who's gonna believe her?" Sloan's voice. "Yeah, she's perfect. No priors, no real connections. She'll fold." The courtroom exploded in noise. The jury gasped. The prosecutor went pale. The judge's face hardened. Maya crossed her arms. "I believe that's what you call undeniable evidence." Before anyone could react, the courtroom doors burst open. Several federal agents stormed inside, weapons drawn. "Detectives Dunham and Sloan, you are under arrest for evidence tampering, conspiracy, and multiple counts of wrongful conviction." Sloan tried to bolt, but 3 agents tackled him before he made it 2 steps. Dunham just sat there, his face blank, his career and his freedom over in an instant. The judge turned to Maya. "Director Caldwell, I assume you'll be pressing charges?" Maya smiled slightly. "Oh, Your Honor, this is just the beginning." The case was dismissed immediately, and Maya walked out of the courtroom a free woman. But her mission wasn't over. Days later, a full investigation exposed dozens of cases of wrongful convictions, all connected to a ring of corrupt officers looking to climb the ranks. Thanks to Maya's daring undercover operation, lives were restored, innocent people were freed, and systemic reforms were set in motion. The news spread like wildfire. The internet exploded with praise for the fearless FBI director who put her own freedom on the line to expose the truth. And as for Maya Caldwell, she simply moved on to the next case because injustice never sleeps. As the courtroom chaos settled, Maya Caldwell took a deep breath. The mission was over, or so she thought. Later that evening, as she walked into her Washington, D.C. office, she was met with a standing ovation from her FBI team. The takedown of Detectives Dunham and Sloan had gone viral. The entire country was talking about the fearless FBI director who had risked everything to expose police corruption. Her second-in-command, Agent Carter, approached her with a smirk. "You just became America's favorite law enforcer overnight." Maya chuckled. "That's not the goal, Carter. The goal is justice." But before she could sit down, her assistant rushed in, her face pale. "Director Caldwell, we have a problem." Maya's eyes narrowed. "What kind of problem?" Her assistant hesitated, then handed her a tablet. The screen displayed a live news broadcast. The words at the bottom of the screen sent a chill through Maya's spine. "Breaking news. FBI Director Maya Caldwell under investigation. Shocking allegations surface." The anchor spoke with urgency. "Anonymous sources have leaked documents suggesting that FBI Director Maya Caldwell may have falsified her credentials and manipulated evidence in the courtroom. A congressional hearing is being called to investigate her actions. Was she really a hero, or something far more dangerous?" Maya's blood ran cold. This wasn't just an attack on her reputation. This was a setup. Carter clenched his jaw. "They're coming for you, Maya." Maya exhaled sharply. "No, they're coming for the truth." Within hours, Congress had issued a formal inquiry. The Justice Department announced they would be launching an internal review of Maya's conduct. Social media, once flooded with praise for her, was now divided. Some called her a fraud. Others still defended her. But one thing was clear. Someone powerful wanted her taken down. That night, as Maya sat in her dimly lit office, she sifted through the leaked documents. They were incredibly detailed, too detailed. The fake accusations were wrapped in just enough truth to make them believable. Whoever had orchestrated this was no amateur. Then she saw something that made her freeze, a hidden watermark in the leaked documents, a symbol she recognized all too well. Her heart pounded. It was the insignia of the Blackwell Syndicate, a secretive and untouchable criminal empire that had infiltrated the highest levels of government. Maya had spent years trying to uncover their operations, but they were always a step ahead. Now, it seemed, they had turned the tables. Carter, looking over her shoulder, cursed under his breath. "They're not just trying to ruin you, Maya. They're sending a message." Maya's jaw tightened. "Then it's time we send one back." She pulled out her phone and dialed a secure number. A deep, gravelly voice answered. "Director Caldwell. I was wondering when you'd call." Maya leaned back in her chair, her voice calm but razor-sharp. "You made a mistake. You should have killed me when you had the chance." A low chuckle echoed through the line. "Oh, Maya, you still don't get it. This isn't about you." The line went dead. Maya stared at the phone, a sinking feeling creeping into her gut. If this wasn't about her, then who was the real target? Her mind raced, and then it hit her. She bolted upright. "Carter, we need to move. Now." "What? Where?" Maya grabbed her coat, already heading for the door. "They're not just coming for me. They're coming for every innocent person we freed from those corrupt cases. Now the real fight begins." The court case was just the start. The Blackwell Syndicate is bigger, more dangerous, and far more connected than Maya ever imagined. But one thing is certain, she won't back down. Not until every last corrupt player is exposed. Not until justice is truly served. And this time, it's personal. As Maya and Carter raced through the dimly lit streets of Washington, D.C., her mind was in overdrive. If the Blackwell Syndicate was targeting the people she had freed, that meant they weren't just trying to ruin her. They were trying to erase every trace of what had happened in that courtroom. She pulled out her phone and dialed the number of Thomas Rivera, the public defender who had worked alongside her to overturn wrongful convictions. It rang once, twice, then went straight to voicemail. Maya's stomach twisted. That's not good. Carter gripped the steering wheel. He could just be asleep. Maya shook her head. No, he knew things were heating up. He wouldn't ignore my call. They sped toward Rivera's apartment. But as they turned onto his street, Maya's breath caught in her throat. His front door was wide open. The two agents rushed inside, weapons drawn. The place was ransacked, papers scattered, books overturned, a lamp shattered on the floor. But there was no sign of Rivera. Carter checked the kitchen, then turned back to Maya, his expression grim. They got to him. Maya ran a hand through her hair. No, they didn't kill him. If they wanted him dead, they would have left a body. They took him. Carter exhaled sharply. Then where do we start? Maya's phone buzzed, a restricted number. She answered cautiously. Caldwell. A voice on the other end, distorted, mechanical, sent chills down her spine. Director Caldwell, you're persistent. I'll give you that. Maya clenched her jaw. Where is Rivera? A low chuckle. Safe, for now, but I'm afraid you forced our hand. You embarrassed us in that courtroom. Now, we need to remind you who really runs this country. Maya's grip tightened on the phone. You think I'm scared of you? You're just a bunch of corrupt cowards hiding in the shadows. The voice remained eerily calm. Cowards, no. Strategists? Yes, you see, Maya, you were never the real target. We always knew you'd come after us, but we also knew how to make you vulnerable. Maya's blood turned to ice. Carter saw her face pale. What is it? The voice continued. You think you control the game, but we've been playing you from the start. Your little courtroom stunt only sped up our timeline. Now you have a choice. Maya forced herself to sound steady. And what's that? Step down, resign as FBI director, publicly admit to falsifying evidence, and clear the names of the officers you exposed. Do that, and Rivera walks free. Refuse, and you'll be watching his execution live-streamed for the world to see. Maya's mind raced. This wasn't just about power. The Blackwell Syndicate was sending a message to anyone who dared challenge them. If she backed down now, they'd win. But if she refused, Rivera was as good as dead. Carter, who had been listening through the speaker, shook his head. Maya, you can't give in to them. Maya's pulse pounded. She had to think. Fast. Then something clicked. The voice had slipped just once. They said, now you have a choice. That meant Rivera was still alive, which meant there was still time. Maya took a deep breath and made her decision. She spoke into the phone, her voice steel. I'll give you my answer in 24 hours. The voice on the other end chuckled. Smart, we'll be waiting. The line went dead. Carter frowned. 24 hours. What's the plan? Maya's eyes burned with determination. We're going on the offensive. They think they control the board, but they just made a fatal mistake. Carter raised an eyebrow. And what's that? Maya smirked. They underestimated me. For the next 24 hours, Maya didn't rest. She mobilized her most trusted agents, dug deep into the FBI's classified files, and found exactly what she was looking for, a mole. Someone inside the government had been feeding the Blackwell Syndicate information, and now she had a way to flush them out. By morning, she was standing in front of the cameras for a very different press conference than the one the syndicate had expected. Effective immediately, she said, looking directly into the camera. I am not stepping down. Instead, I am launching the largest corruption investigation in FBI history. And to those responsible for the kidnapping of Thomas Rivera, let me be perfectly clear. She leaned forward, her voice sharp as a blade. You have just made the biggest mistake of your lives. As the news broadcasted across the country, Carter turned to Maya with a grin. You really just declared war on them. Maya smirked. Damn right I did. And the game was officially on. As the FBI's corruption investigation unfolded, Maya and her team worked tirelessly to dismantle the Blackwell Syndicate's grip on law enforcement and the justice system. Every lead, every document, every wiretap brought them closer to the truth. And then they found it, the smoking gun, a series of encrypted financial transactions linking the syndicate's leaders to high-ranking officials in government, law enforcement, and even a few corporate executives who had been funding their operations. It was enough to bring the whole network crumbling down, but they still had one major problem. Thomas Rivera was still missing. The syndicate now backed into a corner, had nothing left to lose. They sent one final message to Maya: drop the investigation or Rivera dies. The countdown had begun. Maya wasn't about to let them win. Using the intel they had gathered, she pinpointed the syndicate's last known stronghold, a secluded, heavily guarded compound in the Virginia woods, a place designed to keep secrets and prisoners. With a team of elite FBI agents, Maya led a daring night raid. Silencers on, movements swift and precise. No alarms, no room for error. Inside, they found Rivera tied to a chair, bruised but alive. The relief on his face when he saw Maya was enough to fuel her rage. The last remaining syndicate members put up a fight, but they were outmatched. One by one, they were taken down, until only the mastermind remained, the distorted voice from the phone call. Maya ripped off his mask, revealing none other than Senator Daniel Hawthorne, one of the most powerful men in Washington. He sneered. "You think arresting me changes anything? The syndicate will never die." Maya smiled coldly. "Oh, I'm counting on it." She stepped aside, revealing a live feed broadcasting to the world. Millions were watching. Every crime, every cover-up, every deal exposed in real time. Hawthorne paled. And just like that, the Blackwell Syndicate was finished. The aftermath was nothing short of historic. With the syndicate dismantled, dozens of high-profile arrests followed. Corrupt officers, judges, and politicians were removed from power. The justice system, once tainted, began its slow journey toward true reform. And Maya, she became a legend. Her bravery inspired a wave of whistleblowers to come forward, strengthening the FBI's ability to root out corruption. Thomas Rivera recovered and was promoted to lead a new division focused on criminal justice reform. Carter, as always, remained her loyal right hand. But the best part? For the first time in years, Maya Caldwell walked through the doors of the FBI headquarters, knowing she had truly changed the game. She had won, and the world would never be the same. Justice served, corruption exposed, and one woman's fight changed history forever. Subscribe to Dark Side of Luna, because 1,000 more stories are coming.